Today, I will share with you an extraordinary story of a Palestinian family and an Israeli family who accidentally switched their children. This story will undoubtedly stay in your heart forever, that's a promise I make to you. It's a French movie. Since movies made in support of Palestinians are often banned, so I have a special request for you. If this story touches your heart deeply today, please share it with others because it took me a lot of effort to find this film. So without further ado, let's dive into the main story of the film. The story begins by showing an Israeli army camp. In this camp, even ordinary Israeli citizens are required to undergo training. A boy named Joseph is also undergoing a medical test here. As you may know, every citizen of Israel is required to serve in the army for a few years. Each citizen must receive all kinds of training to prepare for war. After the examinations, Joseph is sent to a female officer. The officer asks Joseph, "What do you want to become after returning from the army?" Joseph replies, "I will become a singer." The scene changes, and this Israeli woman is Joseph's mother. She tells Joseph, "The blood test you took at the army camp yesterday came back with an incorrect result. Your blood type came out as a positive, which is impossible because both your father and I are a negative. Biologically, two A-negative individuals can never have a child with a positive blood. They must have made a mistake. You need to go back tomorrow and have the blood test done again." Hearing this, Joseph becomes a bit annoyed because he has to undergo the same test again the next day. The next day, we see Joseph. He has come to the hospital with his mother. Joseph's test results have arrived. He was sitting in the hospital garden, playing a song for a girl named Lisa. Meanwhile, Joseph's mother seemed very worried because today's blood test shows that Joseph's blood type is a positive, and something about that doesn't seem right to her. Joseph's mother is a doctor, and she shares her concerns with a colleague, telling her, "This can't be possible." She then expressed a desire to test Joseph's father's blood, but her friend stops her and says, "There's no need for that. I already have your husband's blood test results. He had it done a few days ago, and his blood type is a negative." Her friend suggests, if you really want to clear up the confusion, a DNA test would be the next step. At this, Joseph's mother becomes a bit angry, but she quickly apologizes. The thought keeps gnawing at her. This man is Joseph's father. He is a police officer. Joseph's mother explained everything to her husband in detail. Her husband responded by saying, "This might be an exceptional case." Joseph's mother countered, "It can't possibly be exceptional. This is a common genetic matter." Joseph's father then says, it wouldn't be right to make Joseph take another blood test. That evening, Joseph and his entire family sat down for dinner together, but Joseph's father was in a foul mood. He scolded the children, and even before going to bed, he sat in silence. Joseph's mother could sense her husband's state of mind. She then said to him, "I know what you're thinking, that 18 years ago, I might have had an illicit relationship with my boyfriend. But let me be clear, I never had anything with him." In reality, Joseph's father was quietly wondering if Joseph might be the child of his wife's boyfriend. The next day, Joseph's mother went to discuss the matter again with her doctor friend. The doctor says, "I've done a lot of research on this since yesterday. Have you noticed that Joseph doesn't resemble either of you?" Joseph's mother replies, "So what? Joseph isn't like anyone. Joseph is Joseph." The doctor then says, Joseph was born in a hospital in the city of Haifa. The year was 1991, January 23rd, and it was a Thursday. Joseph's mother confirmed, "Yes, we were living in Haifa at that time." The doctor continues, "Joseph was placed in an incubator that day." Joseph's mother responded, "Yes." The doctor then says, "There's something you may not know. That day, there was another baby in the incubator with Joseph. From what I can understand, Joseph might not actually be your biological child." Hearing this, Joseph's mother became furious. She quickly left the place in a rush. Later that night, Joseph was chatting with his sister, while his mother watched him from a distance. Joseph's father came up to her and asked, "Where were you all day? I've called you so many times, but you didn't pick up even once." Joseph's mother embraced her husband tightly without saying a word. She then tells her husband, "I think we've made a huge mistake." The day Joseph was born, the nurses take him to a separate room right after his birth to place him in the incubator. But on that same day, a baby was born in the neighboring room, and they are also placed in the same incubator. Joseph's father asks, "Are you saying the babies were switched that day?" He gets extremely angry. Joseph's mother says, "I'm just telling you what the doctor has told me." Joseph's father feels devastated and sinks into deep despair. The scene shifts. A doctor welcomes Joseph's parents. They are now in the hospital in Haifa where Joseph was born. Another Palestinian family is present today as well. The doctor introduces Joseph's parents to the family, saying, "This is Mr. and Mrs. Albajaz. They have come from Palestine." Albajaz is their family name. The Palestinian man's name is Syed, and the woman's name is Layla. The doctor begins to speak to both families, explaining, "On January 23, 1991, both of your children were born in this hospital. We have now confirmed that the child with the Albajaz family has blood type A negative. I regret to inform you that your children were switched at birth." The doctor continues, "I asked you both to bring photos of your children. If you have brought them, please exchange the pictures now." With tear-filled eyes, the two mothers exchange the photos of their children. For the first time in many years, both mothers look at the child they carried in their wombs. They are deeply moved by the moment, overwhelmed with emotion. The doctor then says, "You can now legally exchange your children." At that moment, Joseph's father shouts, "Never! Joseph is my son. He is Jewish, and that is his identity." The Palestinian family remains silent, while the woman named Layla only weeps. The doctor says, since both children are now 18 years old, they must be informed about this. What happens next is up to both families. Hearing this, Joseph's father storms out in anger, and shortly after, Syed leaves the room as well. The doctor, addressing the two mothers, says, "I don't have the words to comfort you, but perhaps you should talk to each other. Get to know one another." With tearful eyes, the two mothers begin to speak to each other. For the first time, we learn the name Yacine, the boy who has grown up with the Palestinian family. Both mothers step out of the doctor's office. Outside, Yacine's father was waiting. Just then, a call comes in on Layla's phone. It's Yacine. He is studying in France, and today he has completed his diploma. He shares this happy news with his mother. Syed embraces his wife, and soon after, they begin their journey back to Palestine. Layla asks her husband, "How will we tell Yacine about all of this?" Syed responds, "We won't tell Yacine anything about it, and we will have no contact with this Israeli family. They have already taken our land and now rule over us." The scene shifts to the Israeli-Palestinian border, the passageway for Palestinians. For the first time, we see Yacine. He has completed his studies and returned to his homeland. Since there is no international airport in Palestine, he must enter through Israel. After passing through numerous border checks, Yacine finally sets foot on Palestinian soil. His mother and older brother, whose name is Bilal, are waiting for him. Bilal embraces his younger brother tightly. As they drive home, Bilal points to the large barbed wire walls along the roadside and says, "As you see, our villages are still imprisoned, and our lands cut in two. A curse on those who stole from us." His anger intensifies as he speaks, but their mother gently calms him. The three of them then begin to sing a Palestinian song together, joyfully heading home. They return to their worn-down homeland, but Palestine, despite its neglect, welcomes Yacine warmly. The first person Yacine approaches is his father. His father, a car mechanic by trade, is busy working. Yacine calls out to him eagerly. Syed crawls out from under the car and says in a very soft voice, "You've come? Go home and freshen up. I'll come home as soon as I finish my work." Yacine doesn't know why his father's voice is so low. Just then, his mother calls to him from behind, saying, "Your father's always like this. He's always busy with his work." Yacine and his mother head home. Meanwhile, the helpless father starts crying, regretting not being able to embrace his son after seeing him after so long. When they get home, Yacine has brought gifts for everyone from abroad, a jersey of his older brother's favorite team, a doll for his younger sister, and a purse for his mother. By this time, Yacine's father arrives home as well. This time, he embraces his son tightly. Yacine has also brought medicine from abroad for his father, because there isn't much available in Palestine anymore. The Israelis have blocked everything. On the other hand, a letter arrives from the army for Joseph. Since his blood type doesn't match his parents', Joseph isn't being accepted into the army this time. Joseph overhears this. He asks his father, "All my friends are going to the army, why can't I go?" Joseph's father hands him the letter and walks away. Frustrated, Joseph says to his father, "I don't understand anything this letter says." That's when Joseph's mother starts explaining everything to him. "The day you were born in 1991, another boy was born in that same hospital. That family was Palestinian, and our babies were switched." Joseph looks at his mother and says, "So that means I'm the switched baby? I'm Palestinian?" Joseph's eyes fill with tears, and in anger, he walks out. He sits in the corridor of the house and cries a lot. His mother comes to him. Joseph asks her, "Have you seen that boy?" Joseph's mother replies, "I've seen him in a photo." Joseph then asks his mother, "Mom, am I still Jewish?" The scene shifts to Palestine, where Yacine is with Bilal. They are wearing their new jerseys and have come to meet their friends. Together, they all play football. Meanwhile, Joseph is visiting a Jewish religious leader. Joseph has been receiving religious education from this man since childhood. He's come to ask if he's still considered Jewish. After hearing everything, the religious leader tells him, "You are still Jewish, but not like before. Yacine, the boy you mentioned, is more Jewish than you are because he was born from a Jewish woman's womb. Since you weren't born from a Jewish mother, you can never be considered a first-class Jewish." Hearing this, Joseph angrily storms out. That same night, there is a party at Yacine's house to celebrate his return. Everyone is enjoying themselves in their own way, and Yacine's arrival brings much happiness to the family. In the middle of the celebration, a phone call comes to Yacine's house. It's from Joseph's mother. She tells Yacine's mother, "I've told Joseph everything. Have you told your son Yacine yet?" Yacine's mother replies, "I haven't told him anything yet." Joseph's mother urges, "You need to tell him soon because it's their life, and they have a right to know. And we want to see him too." Late at night, Yacine's father asks his wife, "Why did that woman call today?" Yacine's mother replies, "To tell Yacine everything." This sparks an argument between them. Hearing their parents shouting, Yacine and his older brother come in. Yacine asks, "What are you two arguing about? What Israeli woman do I have to meet, and why?" At this moment, we realize that Yacine's parents have told him everything. After hearing this, Yacine's older brother storms off in anger. Yacine's mother holds her son tightly to her chest. A heavy silence fills the room. No one says a word. Tears silently roll down Yacine's face, as his mother tries to comfort him. In a calm voice, she says, "They want to see you. They have invited us to Tel Aviv." Yacine's crying intensifies, and he collapses into his mother's arms, sobbing. The next morning, Yacine sits atop a tall, crumbling building in Palestine, gazing out at the distant, orderly city of Israel, where his biological parents live. The following day, the family sets out for Israel's capital, Tel Aviv, but Yacine's older brother doesn't come with them. After passing through the checkpoint, they enter Israel. Meanwhile, Joseph's parents are very busy today, preparing a variety of dishes because Yacine and his family are coming. In the meantime, Yacine and his family arrive in front of Joseph's house. One by one, everyone steps out of the car, except for Yacine's father, who remains seated quietly. He just can't accept any of this. Yacine's mother calls out to him, but he stays still. From the window, Joseph watches everyone arrive. They all gather in front of Joseph's house, and for the first time, both families see their biological children face to face. Joseph's mother and Joseph greet everyone. Both families sit down together for breakfast, but no one is really talking. Joseph's mother observes Yacine closely, while Yacine's mother keeps looking at Joseph. After all, these are the children they carried in their wombs. With some hesitation, Joseph's mother asks Yacine, "What are you studying now?" Yacine replies, "I've finished my diploma, and my medical course starts next month." Then Yacine's mother asks Joseph, "What are you going to do?" Joseph replies, "I want to become a musician." Yacine's mother turns to her husband and says, "He's just like you. He loves music, just like you do." Yacine's father says nothing. Joseph simply gives a small smile. Both families begin to have lunch. Yacine's mother shares with everyone that Joseph also has an older brother named Bilal. She adds that Joseph once had a younger brother, but he was killed in an Israeli airstrike when he was just 3 years old. The conversation then shifts to a different topic. Meanwhile, Joseph and Yacine take a walk in the garden. Joseph asks, "Why didn't Bilal come? Does he hate us that much?" Yacine replies, "Do you understand what it's like for a Palestinian? Have you ever seen your 3-year-old brother killed by a bomb while playing outside with a ball? We carried the lifeless body of our beloved little brother on our shoulders." Every day, stories like this unfold in every Palestinian family. On the other side, Joseph's mother praises him, saying he's not like other Israeli kids, he doesn't want to go to war. Yacine's father interrupts, "What war? A war against us, our land, our people?" Joseph's father replies, "We ordinary Israelis don't want any innocent child to die either. But our leaders don't care about anything." Yacine's father retorts, "It's you who elect those leaders." The two fathers start arguing, defending their countries, and the debate grows more heated. Finally, Joseph's mother shouts to stop them. Later that night, when Yacine's family returns home, they find Bilal sitting outside, playing a sad tune on his flute. They all go inside the house. Meanwhile, Joseph tells his parents, "I'm going out. I won't be back tonight." He leaves the house and walks to a friend's place. Standing on the balcony, he listens to the roar of the sea, a roar that mirrors the storm brewing inside him. Yacine's older brother Bilal can't stand him anymore. He tells Yacine, "I know what's going on in your mind. Forget everything. Just remember our dream, our plan to build a hospital for these innocent Palestinians." But Bilal can't tolerate anything his younger brother says anymore. In fact, he no longer even acknowledges Yacine as his little brother. Frustrated, Yacine goes to bed. The next morning, Yacine is playing with his little sister when the phone rings. It's Joseph, and he wants to talk to Yacine. Bilal's attitude towards his brother remains the same, angry and dismissive. Joseph invites Yacine to visit Tel Aviv. Yacine and his family have permits to enter Israel, though, in reality, these permits were valid only until the war started. Meanwhile, Bilal hangs out with his friends. One of them brings some cans of Coke. Seeing this, everyone becomes angry because Coke is an Israeli product. In frustration, they throw the cans away. On the other hand, Yacine reaches a beach in Tel Aviv. From a distance, he sees Joseph selling ice cream. Yacine walks up to him and says, "Let me try selling ice cream and see if I can do it." Joseph teaches Yacine what to say. In just a short time, Yacine manages to sell a lot of ice cream. Joseph laughs and says, "What I couldn't do in 3 hours, you did in 10 minutes. The two of them sit down together. Joseph is counting the money and then gives half of it to Yacine. Yacine hesitates, not wanting to take it, but Joseph insists, "This is your share." Yacine, gazing out at the sea, expresses regret, saying, "I had a cousin who always wanted to see the sea, who might never see the sea because they've got no pass." As the day turns into night, it's time for the last bus heading toward the border. Before leaving, Yacine tells Joseph, "My mother wants you to come to our house." Yacine gets into the bus, while Joseph remains standing silently, watching him leave. Later that night, Joseph's mother comes to him. Joseph, reflecting on his life, says, "If you hadn't gone to Haifa when I was born, I would have grown up as a Palestinian. I would have hated you, and you would have hated me." His mother embraces him tightly and says, "You are my child. You'll always be mine." The next day, Joseph's father is working in his office when a soldier salutes him and says, "A Palestinian came to see you, but we didn't let him in. He left behind a border pass and asked me to thank you." In a rush, Joseph's father leaves his office and starts searching for the man. The man was Yacine's father. Joseph's father had arranged the permit that allowed him to enter Israel, but Yacine's father no longer wanted to keep it. He didn't want to return here anymore. Joseph's father invites him for coffee. A Palestinian and an Israeli sit side by side, drinking coffee. Neither says a word to the other, only the silence speaks volumes. The scene shifts to Yacine returning home. His older brother Bilal pushes him away in anger and storms off. Yacine hands the money he earned from selling ice cream at the Israeli beach to his mother. Since Israeli currency has a high value, the money could buy them many things. His mother hides the money away. Yacine leaves the house, and his mother approaches Bilal. She says to him, "Remember when you were little? When Yacine stayed at your aunt's house, if I bought you anything, you would always set aside half of it and say, 'This is for my brother Yacine.'" Bilal responds, "He's an Israeli. And the Israelis killed my little brother." His mother replies, "Yacine is your brother. And don't forget that you are a Muslim. You need to be patient and generous." The next day, Yacine is again selling ice cream with Joseph on an Israeli beach. Joseph asks him how he got the pass. Yacine replies that your father arranged a 1-month pass for him. During this month, he can come and go as he pleases. Suddenly, Joseph spots his friends from a distance. He introduces Yacine to his friends with a false identity, saying he's his cousin from Paris. Joseph can never reveal Yacine's Palestinian identity to his friends. Joseph's friends invite Yacine to their party. They both then get ready to go to the party together. When Joseph's mother returns home, she finds Yacine sitting in front of the house waiting. She is somewhat startled to see him, and some of the fruit in her basket falls to the ground. When Yacine tries to pick it up, she touches her child's body and feels it. This is the child she carried in her own womb. She gives Yacine a loving kiss. Standing behind, Joseph watches everything. He calls out to Yacine, saying they are getting late. Joseph and Yacine then leave on a bicycle. The next day, when Joseph is about to enter the Jewish place of worship with his family, his conscience holds him back. He decides not to go in and instead heads straight to the border. When he shows his identification to the guards, they treat him very well and ask if he really wants to go to Palestine. Joseph shows them an address and asks where it is. The guards direct him on which way to go. This is the first time Joseph sets foot in Palestinian territory. It was supposed to be his homeland. Joseph walks along the village paths. He never imagined that on the other side of the border, there was a different world. There are no playgrounds for the children here. Despite the hardships, the people are full of warmth and sincerity. He is shown Yacine's parents' address. When Yacine's mother sees Joseph, she is very surprised. She lovingly caresses his face. His older brother Bilal also warmly welcomes Joseph, and starts teaching him in broken English that Joseph is a Muslim and he is a Palestinian. When Yacine's father learns of Joseph's arrival, he becomes very worried, wondering what he will tell the neighbors. Yacine's mother says that she has already told everyone that Joseph is her sister's son, who has come here from France. That night, Joseph sits down to dinner with everyone. Bilal says, "Don't think we have meat like this every day. We rarely see meat even once a year. This feast is because you are here." This is the first time Joseph has had such a meal. He hasn't informed his parents that he is in Palestine. Yacine's mother calls Joseph's mother to let her know. While eating, Joseph suddenly starts singing a song. It's the most famous Palestinian song, which Joseph has learned. Everyone is astonished. One by one, everyone starts joining in the song. Yacine's father also plays along with his instrument. In no time, a unique atmosphere is created. Bilal then shows Joseph the room he and Yacine will share. Joseph sees a picture of a child on the wall. He asks, "Who is this?" Bilal replies, "That's our unfortunate brother who was killed by a bomb while playing." Bilal then tells Joseph, "I also want to see the other side of the border." Joseph says, "Of course. I'll talk to my father and arrange a pass for you." Meanwhile, since Joseph hasn't returned home yet, his parents have come to the border. Joseph's father shows his identification to the guards. Joseph's mother stays in the car, while Joseph's father walks alone along the Palestinian road. On the other hand, Joseph is returning to the border with Bilal in the car. Suddenly, Joseph spots his father. He immediately asks Bilal to stop the car. Joseph gets out and apologizes to his father. Joseph's father hugs him tightly and says, "No matter what happens in the world, you are my son." Joseph then introduces Bilal to his father. He says to his father, "This is my older brother." Bilal extends his hand, and Joseph's father shakes it warmly. Bilal accompanies them to the border. Joseph's father then extends his hand to Bilal himself and thanks him. It's now time for Joseph to say goodbye. He tells his older brother, "I will definitely take you to the other side of the border. It's my promise." Joseph takes one last look at Bilal. Meanwhile, a new photo of Joseph is added to Yacine's family photo collection. Joseph is now officially a member of their family. The next day, Yacine and his older brother Bilal set off towards Israel. Bilal's pass to Israel has been arranged, and Yacine's check goes smoothly. Now it's Bilal's turn for inspection, and he too completes it. For the first time, Bilal enters Israel. Bilal is amazed by the modernity of Israel. Yacine says goodbye to Joseph and Bilal, mentioning that he needs to go sell ice cream to manage some money for the house. He promises to meet them at the beach and he leaves. Joseph and Bilal walk together. At night, while walking on the beach, some drunk men call out to Joseph and attempt to rob him. Bilal intervenes, and a scuffle ensues. But suddenly, one of the men stabs Joseph and they flee. Yacine arrives at the scene as well. Both Yacine and Bilal seek help from nearby people. Joseph is taken to the hospital, where a doctor bandages him up properly. Bilal thanks the doctor. Joseph asks his older brother, "If I had died today, would I have been buried as a Jew or an Arab?" Bilal tells him to set aside such thoughts and thanks God that he wasn't seriously harmed. At this point, Yacine arrives as well. He asks Joseph how he's feeling. Joseph replies, "Better." Yacine says, "I've informed your parents." Joseph smiles and says, "My parents? Which ones? I now have two families." The scene changes, and we see the same broken building in Palestine where Yacine used to sit. Today, Joseph is sitting there, looking at the neatly arranged Israel in the distance, just as Yacine once did. Joseph's voice comes in from the background, saying, "I haven't forgotten my Israeli parents, but I have found my true home." And that's where the story of this film ends. So friends, I won't say anything more about today's story. It's up to you to share your thoughts. I'll be reading your comments. So, let me know what you think of the video by liking and commenting. And if the video really touched your heart, please subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.